Hello everyone, welcome to Lahti Sports Center to reimagine the sports shrine.
Haluatko et sanoa? Okay. Hello everybody and really nice to have all you taking part of this European 18 competition. My name is Aleksi Nyström and I'm the head of sports in the city of Lahti.
Okay, then we follow the route that we're going to walk about 3 kilometers around the central areas of the sports center. On the right side you see the skiing bridge and the tunnel that goes to the Karpalos site, just to orient you around the site. So if you go under that tunnel you go to Karpalo. We will go there after we have gone behind the ski museum. On the left there you see the entrance to the restaurant Voitto, and you can access the ski museum through there, but the main entrance to the ski museum is from this side of the building. And then Aleksi will open us some gates. Can Tuomas remember if this building was built in 2000 or early? The ski museum building is from around 2000, designed by Pekka Salminen architect.
Same one who made the...
Same architect who has designed the stadium stands.
some decades earlier.
Yeah, in the 70s. That has done a lot of work in Lahti. He also designed the city theatre in the city centre. Okay, so we are climbing slightly uphill behind the ski pit jump facilities. So the building mass on the left contains, Aleksi, can you explain what it contains? There are a lot of facilities in this building mass.
For ski jump, and then there's facilities also for the Nordic skiing, and then there is sauna area and locker rooms for athletes, and then of course there is also gym and some other sport facilities. And then there is the spectator area where we are just arriving.
So here we get a good view of the ski jumps themselves. They were built on this site in a natural kettle hole in the 70s. The very original location for the ski jumps when the sports center was created in the 1920s was to that side of the
just behind
the
those
site.
blue
But then in the
spectator.
70s they were moved here, and the largest ski jump was built in 1972 and the two other ones a few years later. So the hillside here is a natural kettle hole formed by the Ice Age.
Continues this side.
And as it says in the competition brief, one of the goals is to sort of bring the natural vegetation or somehow integrate the natural vegetation and the built environment a little bit better together. Somehow to bring more vegetation to the built-up areas down here. As you can, especially this season when the leaves are not on the trees, you can sense that the built-up areas in the sports center are fairly grey. So that would be one aim, to enhance this kind of natural green in the built-up areas. As it says in the competition brief as well, this ski jumping stadium, this area here, accommodates up to 60,000 spectators. Am I not wrong, Aleksi?
I think it's a little bit less. But in
tens of thousands.
In normal use, the spectators are on this side that we are now here, and then that altogether this takes around 40,000.
40,000 spectators.
Yeah.
So it makes this one of the largest open air venues in Finland.
Yeah.
And at the bottom of the ski jump pit there is a swimming pool at the moment, but its future is a little bit uncertain, or we are almost certain that it will not
be closed,
continue.
yeah.
But it will be closed permanently.
But those saunas and all the locker rooms and all the facilities which are included with this swimming pool area are planned to be open on the Summit Sam also for citizens, that they can still come here, take the sun and go to sauna and then use those facilities.
Do we go up and then come down by the steps, or? Just,
Okay. Niin, tuohon ritillä tuohon alas.
Kyllähän tästä pääsee alas.
Joo, joo. And this lower area you can see on the front here, where there usually is grass, now it's snow. This will be fixed during the next summer, and then it will look quite the same as the stairs in here. So we will renovate those spectator areas down there. It will be similar
to the ones up
here.
here.
The ones that are in here.
So you will have like these timber structure stands?
It's made of iron.
Okay.
Yep.
Metal stands instead of the grassed area.
Yeah, standing the spectator area will be standing there, will be no seats.
Yeah, to that side of the ski jump pits you can see a part of the reflection site, Radio Hill, where the two radio masts are located on top of it. Lahti is very much a city of landmarks, and the ski jumps are one of the most visible ones, and the radio masts are two very important landmarks as well, and that's part of the reflection side of the competition. Alas tästä vai tuolta seuraavasta? Tästä.
Ei katsella.
If you like, you can explain more about this building.
Okay.
What there is.
So now I think it seems in the picture also that there is our gym. So the gym is open for citizens, and there is also group activities. And then there's another like a dancing hall over here. And then, like I said before, there is also locker rooms and saunas, and then places that the skiers and the ski jumpers can fix their skis. Wax their skis. And I think now with the biggest hill, there is some people watching us. So this ski jump hill is also used like a viewpoint for the city. So you can rent actually the top of the ski jump hill and go there and have a dinner or cafe, or just go there and check the views for the city. And I think now we can see the restaurant Voitto from the other direction. So this
Skiing museum and
Yeah.
restaurant Voitto building on the left side here. And here are the dressing rooms for the open air swimming pool, which is
Yeah.
down in the pit. And when the open air pool closes, then it would be nice to find some efficient use for these facilities
Yeah.
here.
And then there is the ski storage also, that the people can leave their skis here. They have their own locker
Ski
room,
storage.
the ski storage, that they can leave their skis, and there's also maintenance area, so you don't need to carry your skis at home.
And excuse me, this is available to everybody.
Yeah, this
It's
is available. You can
yeah.
rent your own locker room in here.
Rentable lockers, and these facilities are in good repair, in good shape. Yeah.
Joo, paljon mahdollista.
Yes, that's where we were meant to go down. Guys are plowing the snow off the football field quite
Making a
desperately.
football field.
A lot of work.
Yeah. And actually there must be the first game on the football field is gonna be played in 3 weeks, so we have a bit of hurry to get this grass green and get the football field ready to start the season. And this is every spring the same problem, that we need to ski as far as we can and then turn it immediately to football field. And then the nature has its own ideas about it.
Maybe a few words about the theme of the competition. You, Alexi, said earlier that in relation to the resourcing theme, because there's a lot of quite nice infrastructure here. So what could it be used for? And you had, for example, this pretty simple idea that there are lots of steps here.
Yeah.
Could that be used for exercise, somehow enhanced a little bit better? And then the ski jump hills have those nets on them now. That's a summer,
Yeah,
summer
on summertime
activity.
they actually don't have those nets.
Okay.
Those are for snow. They only if you put them there. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the summer they are used for
The-
Red Bull competition.
Yeah. Once in a year.
Uphill
yeah.
running.
But then again, the one problem is that we have received a lot of tourists who are coming here to take pictures and see these places, but they usually don't climb those stairs up there. So we are lacking people up there. So we would like to have more tourists and people to visit the ski jump towers and the ski jump tower area. So that is
It's
one.
not very
one.
easily accessible from this side directly. You have to access it from the other side, isn't
And
it?
you can access from the same side from here also, but there is of course quite hard steps.
Yeah.
So if you're a little bit elderly people or older people, it's hard to get there. There is also the lift which works on the summertime.
Yeah, there's a ski lift
Yeah.
that you can take up.
Yeah, but then you can also.
Height differences. How many? Maria, can you remember how many meters this height difference from
I
down
think
here
it's
to
80.
the top?
It's close to 80 meters. From the bottom of the pool up there, it's 80. But you can also go there by car.
Yeah, it's accessible by car
Yeah.
from the other side, from the south side
Yeah.
of Salpausselkä. Okay, so we go up.
It's really good that you have this 3D model in the competition material, because
Yes!
otherwise it might be difficult. conceive with height differences.
Yes, the topographical map is useful for seeing how prominent the topography is.
Yeah.
It's really quite surprising. I don't know if it captures on camera quite well, but the hillside is really steep. Maria, isn't it so that it's so steep that it's a bit difficult when I was explaining about the vegetation, bringing the vegetation down, but that slope is not very stable.
Yeah,
It's a challenge.
It's tried to make it more forest, but it doesn't stay.
Yeah,
Paahdeympäristöhän semmoisen.
yeah. Anybody know what's pahdeympäristö in English? It's a very sunny and hot area. Dry, sunny, hot because it's facing south and very steep. So it's not easy to get new trees to grow on that hillside. But maybe something else besides trees.
Oliko tän?
Yes. And Alexi, isn't it so that this is one area that you see on TV cameras a lot in ski games?
Yeah.
So from that point of view, the visual image is quite important.
Yeah, and then these days they use a lot of drone material, so it's actually seen everywhere.
Yeah,
It's just not from one side that it used to be.
yeah, it's not very much three-dimensional view when cameras are on drones. Yes.
Tuomas Paksaki. There's a tunnel for the athletes that they can go
shortcut
there.
for athletes.
Yeah, for short athletes, it's not that high. So now it's the Lahti Curve, the most famous part in the ski stadium.
Yeah. Very difficult spot for skiers when they are coming down from up there to the finish line, which is on the stadium. It's quite a hard curve downhill. It's always exciting. The last few hundreds of meters of the competition before they arrive at the finish line. No, it's the ski lift is open during the summer for even public. You can access it, and so you can get on the ski lift down here and go up, and then go all the way up to the tower.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is no downhill skiing like.
No, there's no skiing slope. It's made for the ski jumpers, so they can take their skis up to the tower easier. Yes.
So only in the
No,
summer for the public,
Yeah.
not in the winter.
No.
Okay.
And the stage was there on the bottom, no?
Yeah. But of course, ideas are welcome. It's just
Monolla
then a
tosi
question of who can operate it all year round. If there's, you need more people flow.
Yeah.
Sulla ei ollut tarkoitus tästä vähän niin kuin kääntyä takaisin.
Ei kun on.
Vielä ton eteenpäin, okei. Okay. Watch your step. Arctic conditions today.
Yeah.
Sitten käännytään Tuukka siitä sen riteileikön päästä takaisin. Ei mennä pidemmälle kuin mihin tää ritilä jatkuu. No tuplatunnelit
Joo,
pitää sanoa, kun siihen tulee se uusi silta. So the double skiing tunnels that you can see in the front, this area, this whole stretch, starting from there and going down, is one very important place for TV. Very iconic place, like Aleksi was explaining about the Lahti curve.
And
So this
then
view is
also the
seen on-
climb to the hill is very important.
Yes.
So over here on the right side.
Yeah.
So the skiers climb. This is the last climb before the finish line. So this is where they usually attack. And then after that climb, it's only downhill to the stadium.
Yeah. And that, if you zoom on the double tunnels again, we already have plans to renew that. The double tunnels are going to be replaced by a structural bridge. And it's in engineering, so we've got engineer level plans for it and some architectural ideas, but they have not been finalized yet, as far as I know. Onko sopivasti selostusta liian vähän, liian paljon? Ihan sopivasti, joo. Tässä on kuitenkin ehkä tärkeintä se, että ne pystyy yhdistämään, niin kuin, että miltä se näyttää ihmisen perspektiivissä, minkä ne on nähnyt kartalla. So there you can see the place where we started off, the Lahti Letters and Restaurant Voitto. And the stadium and stadium stands in front of us as well. So that stadium building was designed by Pekka Salminen Architects. I can't remember the exact year, but in the 70s, around the same time as the ski jump,
Yeah.
ski jumps were designed. And both of the ski jumps and the stadium building are nationally valuable built environments. Not protected by the detailed plan, but they are listed buildings and definitely have values. Quite specific specimens of 70s concrete and steel structures.
No siis ei sillä ole väliä, siis jos haluaa mennä. Niin mihin me ollaan mennä? Stadikalle?
Joo, me mennään.
Ei me alikulkuun mennessä.
Seuraavaksi mennään Karpaloon.
No niin sitten, joo. No niin, mä ajattelin, jos mennään Stadikalle, niin mennään tästä.
Niin latu ei ole enää käytössä.
On kyllä, saat siitä hiihtää vielä, mutta se katkee tuolla, missä aurinko on päässyt ottaa.
Niin,
Mutta on tuolla ylhäällä latu vielä, tää alalatu on poikki.
Joo, niin voi.
There's a story with these flags which are on the top of the roof. Normally there ain't no flags, but the ski jumpers and their coaches ask us to put a couple of flags there, because if the wind comes from the direction from the city, they can see the wind before it hits the hill. So if it's like it's now, it's front wind from them, the headwind wind, which is the best for the ski jumpers, so they can count like that. Maybe that's just there when the jumper is on the air. So that's why we put these flags over here, that they can
For the ski jumpers.
Yeah.
So this bridge here was built in. It was ready for the previous World Championship Games 2017.
Yeah.
So it was constructed 2015, 2016. And then the other bridge that I explained at the double tunnels will be ready for the next World Championships in 2029.
And the building in Voitto was done for 2001 World Championships.
Exactly, yes. So every time there's been a World Championship, we've done something, some improvements to the area. So now we are going under that tunnel to access the Karpalo area, where there are 3 more smaller ski jumps for practicing, training purposes. This small field here is also used for events, like during championships and events. This is quite an important spectator area.
Yeah, this is spectator. They can be close to the tracks, and then also there was tracks for kids to ski here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a children's area
Yeah.
in 2017
And
in this area for the championships.
And a fire pit actually that you can.
So this whole area was like furnished like a spectator area with open fires and
Is it
things.
important that it's here, or is it okay that there's somewhere?
This is a good location because the main skiing tracks, when they start off on their trails, they all ski past here. So it's a good point for spectators to see the
Ei
skiers.
sitä enää hiihdä kukaan. Joo, mennään.
These are for kids.
These are for kids, and actually they start from here at the age of 4 or 5 years, and then they are done in here in maybe a little bit older than 10 years old. When they are 11, 12 or something, then they already go for the bigger hills. And then the biggest
I would
one
be
is
terrified to jump
around
even from the
15,
smallest
16 years
one.
old. Then they start to jump on the biggest.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite short time that they spend here with
Absolutely.
the small hills.
This
But here you can see the prominent landscape in Lahti. That's also a kettle
This used to
hole.
be actually a swamp.
Kettle hole in the Salpausselkä glacial ridge. And when you look at the topographical map of the area, you can see a lot of these kettle holes in the area. If you come back in the summertime when there's no snow on the ground, it's actually quite nice to go exploring some of the kettle holes because you can go down into the natural ones. They're really, really nice. You end up in a pot which is all forest around. So next we go past Suurhalli to the central area. Tuukka, if you can show the camera here, all these forested areas around here during the games are like forest spectator stands, so it's usually full of people, these forested areas around the trails, so people can get quite close to the skiers. From this side you can see quite nicely the stadium building. Oh, it's a concrete structure with those prominent steel structures which are a little bit similar to if you have seen the Lahti City Theatre by the same architect, Pekka Salminen. There is this same kind of 70s architectural language, combination of concrete and steel in the facade. Structures are visible to the exterior.
And I think this is our smallest park, because this statue park, we have, I think there's 10 different statues in this small area. Mm-hmm. Some of what they are on the ground, and then there is also the bigger ones made from stone.
I never knew that.
Voitaisiin kertoa tästä alueesta tästä välistä.
Okay, so we have arrived to the central area of the sports center, and this whole area is the most important area for designing and ideation. As you can see, it's a fairly grey top, black top, or concrete tiled surface area with a few trees, but mostly concrete and black top and cars. And yet this is the sort of arrival to the area. And in the competition material you will find that we have provided a ready A1 panel where we would like the competitors to sketch this area in 1 to 800 scale. So there's a provided panel for that purpose. And the two sections that are already provided beforehand, one of them goes along Salpausselän katu. Maria, is it facing the stadium or facing the Suurhalli, the sports hall? And the other section that is provided, the sketch and base is provided, it goes along Satamaradan polku and Veikko Kankkosen raitti, that straight former railway line, which is an important connection to the Lahti harbour.
Yeah, they are also in DVG, so.
Yeah, they are also in DWG format, so they should be fairly easy for you to draw up. Alexi, do you want to explain something about
Yeah.
the indoor sports halls?
Yeah, there is our biggest indoor sports hall, Luhta Arena, which is built, I think, in the same years in
1980s, early 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this used to be a football hall. The size of this hall is similar to the big football field, so it's around 60 meters times 110, so it's a really big one. This time it's run that way that half of the hall is used by football, and then on this side of the hall there is a basketball arena which holds that has limit of spectators for 1,300, and they are playing the top league in Finnish basketball. And then there is also 2 floorball fields on this side, and then there's a running track for 100 meters on the right side. So this is a combination of different kind of sports, but also this is used for different events, so we can take all those sports facilities away, and then there might be concerts or
Exhibition,
even
expos,
dinners.
yeah.
The biggest dinner that I have been here was 4,500 people attending for dinner. So it holds the possibility to do big expos here.
And besides I was explaining about the nationally valuable buildings in the stadium and the ski jumps. These indoor sports halls are not nationally valuable, but if some of these building masses is valuable, then it's this hall here, this 1980s structure, and the other 2 halls, Vesijärvi-halli, Lahti-halli, Salpausselkä-halli, which are behind this, they don't have any sort of cultural or built environment value as such. Lahti is really a city of landmarks. You can see the old water tower from 1956 up there. It's just so pretty.
It's good you haven't taken it down.
Yeah, it's so pretty. One of my favorite buildings, I think, is it's a water tower. So it's like a cup, and the world's best water. We have such good tap water here. So
Really?
yeah, it's
Oh, was it tap water at the restaurant?
yeah.
I know it's like an urban planning class mainly, but are we allowed to propose building structures, and if yes, then how? Like, what would you say the restrictions would be?
This is an ideas competition, so
Right.
you are allowed to give ideas for anything, basically.
Right.
Yeah. If you keep even if you have some ideas for structures, keep it on the level of ideas.
Yeah.
Then those are welcome. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
The competition brief says that we need roughly 300 parking spaces for everyday use, and then if there's an event, it's taken for granted that parking is outside the sports center in other public parking facilities all around the city. And we would like to make the whole area less car oriented and try to teach people that you can arrive to the sports center by other modes of transport besides private cars.
There are quite many private cars here now, so
Yeah,
many
there is.
employees.
No, there is. The hall is used for sports all the time. So there is actually a volleyball tournament going on, and then other sports also. So there is always something.
So as you can see, like I said, this main indoor sports hall that Alexi was explaining about, that's the sort of, if something should be kept or protected or is more sort of, as you can see, it's a concrete structure, whereas those newer halls are just steel and sandwich element, no concrete structures. but the newest, the Congress Center, the one to the right, is the newest one. It was built in 2010, if I don't remember wrong. So it's fairly recent. We were meant to explain on our site visit that the picture for where to situate the water sports center within the sports center has been focused, and one possibility is so that it would be in the corner of those two buildings. You can't actually see, but when you look on the map, so it would be like the corner.
Actually, you can see this. You see those windows there.
Yes,
it starts from there.
So this would
to
be the
left.
entrance to the water sports center, but the center itself would be behind there.
And can you tell us what's the volume?
The volume is, or the
volume,
gross floor area is 9,000 square meters.
Yeah.
And the other possible site is next to the ice rink. We will walk past that in a later stage before we end the tour. But this is the other option. And of course they are quite different options. So you are welcome to propose the water sports center at either site, or even just imagine that maybe this area, we will talk about it more when we get back there, but what it would look like if there is one more big building mass there, whatever it is, whether it's a water sports center or something else.
And if the water sports center would be next to the ice rink, then the media area during large events should
will be over here. Yeah. This year, the amount of square meters that the media needs was this year. It was approximately half of this parking lot that we are staying now.
Yeah, that was a question that we already received. That competitors wanted us to specify how much space it needs. So half of this parking area would be needed for media.
Basically, this side, close to the stadium.
We will answer that question more specifically when the answers are provided.
Basically a building for the media.
No. They come by trucks.
They come with their own
open
trucks.
Open space.
So it needs to be like a parking space, but it's a multi-purpose. You can use it for something else outside events, for parking or for something else.
So
but it's an open area.
Designated area for them.
No.
Yeah, it needs to be able to be closed off during the event.
And then there has to be electricity provided a lot.
They need power.
So they bring their own power output. There is a big power output over there, but during the competitions there is a second one bigger that they use. So the amount of electricity that they need is huge.
Yes. Okay. So next we walk towards the Satamaraitin polku, which is an important axis for walking and cycling in the city. Se on barok-elementtiä tuo julkisivu. Joo. Eli ne rakennetaan sille, että siihen tulee vaan rangat pystyyn ja sitten ne vaan tiputellaan sinne.
Kyllä, näin tapahtui. Siellä oli vaihdettu vuori ja toinen tehtiin vielä muutama päivä.
Okay, this is Satamaraitin polku, which is a former rail line to the Lahti harbor, and the rails have been removed, and it's a very much used cycling and walking path, which ultimately connects to the station. It's not an official biking path all the way to the station, but there's a lot of traffic, and this is also used in events and even sporting events.
yeah.
This is used
This was used in
for
Ironman World
marathons
Championship. This
and-
was
yeah,
used for running.
Yeah, as a running track.
Yeah.
And then there you see the Svinhuvudinkatu blocks, which are offices, small industries and warehouses, and the Salpaus Further Education campus extends to this side as well. That further education municipal company owns several of these plots, and Lahti Housing Company owns the housing blocks behind there. We will walk past them in a minute. And then maybe I should point out, maybe it's not so easy to notice that there is actually a street going behind the Lahti Hall and turning left behind the hall, so that there's like traffic access through here.
Which is actually quite critical because we need that
Yeah,
for quick events that we can,
logistics, and
we can
you can see the
use
van
it
coming from there.
from
So
two sides.
it is a street access from here. 'Cause you easily think about this being the cycling and walking path, and then you don't realize that there's actually a road next to it,
Yeah, that's true.
and it goes back here, and then connects to this street. It's a bit winded, but
But it's a public road.
Yes,
or
it
just
is.
For services.
it's a public road, but they of course close it off when there are events, and this area needs to be closed off.
Yeah.
But it's such a windy connection that fortunately nobody uses it for any through traffic.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yes, these are Salpaus Further Education operates in these buildings here. And then you see the Teiva power plant, which is a secondary power plant. There's a heat accumulator and backup boiler there. And they're indispensable at the moment, but in the long term, we would like to see ideas for what there could be on the power plant site after the power plant, whenever that may be, because it's a really good location in the urban structure, and I think power plant functions could be somewhere else maybe, but at the moment they need it, and transferring the pipes and the boilers and everything to a different location is very expensive, so they are too new at the moment to be transferred very quickly. But it's facing the lakefront on the other side, so it's a very tempting location to do something different than a power plant.
So also the red, brown brick building is part of the power plant.
Yes, this whole thing with the brown brick buildings all the way to all of these buildings on this site are part of the power plant, yes. We think this would be the best location for the water sports center. That would be ideal, but it's too far in the future that we can't wait that long.
Right. So is the city thinking of moving the power plant to somewhere else?
Well, the energy company Lahti Energia is owned by the city, so basically the city has a say over how it operates, but of course it's a municipal company, so we planners cannot tell them where to go immediately, but we have to negotiate with them and see what their schedules are.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it's a fairly heavy facility, so
Yeah,
it's not easy to move.
Yeah. Definitely.
Probably cost tens of millions of euros to relocate it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then on the right side you see these residential blocks which are owned by the municipal housing company, and they are quite new, and there's still a third building missing in the middle. So there's going to be a third apartment building just like these ones. Timber structure, rental apartments provided by the municipal housing company. It was also a warehouse type of location not so long ago, maybe 10 years ago, when it went into planning.
This would be an admin building for the power plant.
Yes, that's Lahti Energy. Lahti Energy operates in this office building on the power plant site. Yes.
And this axis goes to the harbor, no?
Yes, this straight line ends right in front of Sibelius Hall, the concert hall. Right. If you continue another kilometer on, you will end in the harbor and Sibelius Hall.
And the other end is the bridges. Well, the railway
Yes,
station.
yes. Yeah, there's one more building going to be built between these two. Yes.
You mentioned these are owned by the municipal.
They are owned by the municipal housing company. Yes, yes.
So these are for rental.
Yeah, it's like social housing.
Social
Yeah.
housing.
Oh gosh, it's cold. Whew. Voitko pitää hetken, mä pahan hupun päähän.
Se alkaa ohjaa.
It's Arctic today.
Myrskyiset aallotkin tuolla Vesijärvellä.
So now we have arrived at the lakefront. Teiva harbor and marina. So there's a marina for visiting boats here, and Pikku Vesijärvi Park, which is this is part of the reflection site. So we are on the edge of the project site here. You can see the Rantakartano area in front of you. The pink building is the Felmanni Manor house where Lahti Museum is situated, and just to put you on the map. So that open area there is Rantakartano, which is planned for construction but has not happened so far. There's residential blocks, and one of the possible sites for a water sports center have been in Rantakartano, but the city has now different plans to try to locate the water sports center in the sports center on the competition project site instead of Rantakartano. You could actually feel the difference in microclimate there. When we arrived at the lakefront, it was really cold and windy, and immediately when you get behind the buildings it gets warmer. Huge difference in microclimate there when you're exposed to the wind from the lake.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there some like a sailing thing happening in the summer?
Yes, there are some like small sailboats, regattas and things like small lake size sailing boats. And there's a marina where visiting boats can come and dock here and even spend the night.
Mm-hmm. And this is a huge lake, part of Lake Päijänne.
Yes, well, it's actually connected by a canal to Lake Päijänne.
Okay.
Lake Vesijärvi is.
Right.
It's actually quite counterintuitive that Lake Vesijärvi is higher than Päijänne. Because we're closer to Salpausselkä, so the water level goes down when you go to Päijänne. Yeah. There's a canal in between.
Yeah.
So here we are on the first Salpausselkä, and the end of Lake Vesijärvi in Asikkala is the second Salpausselkä. There are two ridges, and Lake Vesijärvi is blocked between those two. And the canal which goes into Päijänne it goes through the second Salpausselkä.
Okay. What are these stones for? Decoration?
It's just art.
Okay. I thought
Decoration.
people can-
It looks like a climbing wall, doesn't it? Yeah. It does look like a climbing wall. So on the left side of Svinhufvudin is the Salpaus Further Education Campus, which stretches all along the street in a nice curve. They were all built in the 1950s, and they are protected buildings. It's both nationally valuable site, RKY area, nationally valuable built environment, and they are also protected by the detailed plan. But we have learned from the Education Institute that there is capacity in these buildings, so we would need ideas for repurposing them on a general level. No need to start designing anything, but just ideas of what these buildings could be. Could there be some functions that support the sports facilities in the sports center, for example?
But that's not part of the project.
It's not, but it's the reflection site.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's part of the reflection site. Yeah, that's why we don't want any designs or any precise plans, but you can provide, like, for example, just ideas in words of what could be inside those buildings. And these two sites, this plot here, I have made a list of actually. This plot is owned by Spatium Oy, which is a municipal company. So this land right here, a small patch, is owned by the city. But then this last lot is privately owned, completely privately owned, and the buildings are fairly valuable as well. They're red brick buildings from the 1930s and 1940s. With some newer parts. This one is newer, but the older buildings are from the first half of the 20th century. That's the first indoor swimming pool in Lahti, and it will be replaced by the new water sports center. Or the city will give up this one.
Other use of this house, or this
No.
just gonna be lived
With
here?
this, the city will probably try to sell it to someone or repurpose it or something.
Okay.
It's quite a cute little swimming pool, but you can just see a little bit inside. It's quite cute, but it's very old, and it doesn't meet any sort of modern requirements for a water sports facility. And we need a 50-meter pool in the city, and Aleksi has told me that the city cannot afford to operate a big 50-meter swimming pool and a 25-meter, separate pool in a separate building like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cute.
Yeah, like the 1950s
Yeah.
architecture.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
yeah.
So can you remind us where the ideal location for the predicted location for the swimming center?
Yes,
Could be?
yes. We are just arriving at the site. I'll explain when we get there. You almost looking at it now. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
So these red brick buildings are not protected by the detailed plan, but as you can see with your eyes, they are quite valuable. Yeah, and they are privately owned, so you can of course propose ideas. This is an ideas competition, so you can propose ideas even for privately owned sites, but then it's a different question how we can push those forward with the private owners. But ideas are allowed even for private property. So now in front of us you see the Isku Arena, home of Lahti Pelicans ice hockey team, ice rink, and in front of it parking space and open field, which is the other possible site for a water sports arena. So this is the very sort of entrance to the whole area. If you can pan around here a little bit, so this is sort of main arrival direction to the whole area, and would definitely need some, how could I say, some kind of improvement of the cityscape so that it would be more approachable, and that you could feel that now you are arriving at the sports center. This wooden gate, Suomi-Finland 100, was constructed for the 2017 games, and it's a reminder of the games. And we aim to do at least something small for the next games as well. And that could be an idea of the scale of something, a memorandum of the 2029 games. And as we've explained in the competition brief, that the winner of the competition may get that commission. And it doesn't have to be anything like that, but it gives you the idea of what kind of an investment the city can immediately make, within a few years for that intervention.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be within the competition area, or can it be beyond that?
I would think that it would be safest if it's within the sports center, but you could locate it at the entrance of the area or within the reflection site or something. Why not?
Okay.
Ideas are allowed,
Okay.
But it doesn't have to be a repetition of the same theme. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Meidän pitää kävellä ton kentän kautta tuolta. I think the Hakatornit was also mentioned in the competition brief, these residential blocks from the 1950s, which are also a nationally valuable site, just on the edge of the site. We have refurbishment plans for Isku Arena at the moment, but there's no political decisions of whether this arena is going to be refurbished or whether we will build a completely new multifunction arena. Refurbishing the old arena is considerably cheaper, so that's probably the politically easier option. And then this field here is a possible location for the water sports arena, including the parking space. And even the refurbishment plans of the Isku Arena include an extension so that it would come to the side of the street. So you would get a street facade, and then you could imagine that the water sports center continues along the street as well. So this whole place could be more built up. At least it's an option for giving ideas what the entrance to the sports center would look like if this was an urban edge, so to say.
And this field is the other option for the media area during the great events.
Yeah.
Yes, this is currently used as a media area for sports events. So if this field gets built up, then the media area needs to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
But should we say, Aleksi, that the competitors do not need to concern themselves too much with these technical issues?
No. They only need space. We can provide them a little bit more far away from the competition area.
We don't expect competitors to be experts in event organization or in water sports or anything like this, because this is an urban design and urban planning and landscape architecture competition. So that's the most important thing. With that we get new, fresh, beautiful ideas of how to improve the image, the feel, the urbanscape of the whole area, and those ideas can be accommodated into various functional scenarios, even if you have to move bits around a little bit. Flexible idea.
Does the brief include some information in terms of the required gross floor area for the swimming center? Or is it just enough to accommodate a 50-meter swimming pool?
I must admit, I can't remember by heart whether we told what the gross floor area of the water sports center is, but it's 9,000 square meters.
Yeah.
We can provide that in the questions and answers section of the competition.
Basically, this whole the field size is the same size that the hall should be. It's quite close to the size of this.
Yeah.
So when
And
you
you
put
don't
all
have to
those
start planning
activities.
the interiors of it at all.
Yeah.
You don't need detailed plan.
No. You just place
yeah.
it that this is a good spot for that. And
Just
that's,
a big building, and what you can imagine what kind of architecture would fit this environment, what kind of streetscape it would form.
Yeah, it's more focused on the regional scale, like the urban scale.
Urban scale and public space, the kind of space that it forms into the street. Yeah. And then if you have ideas of what kind of feel of architecture, what kind of materials maybe would support your idea for the image of the area.
and how the different sports are connected.
Okay.
So is there some things that we can use from the ice hall for the swimming hall or vice versa? So it's that in my point of view the building should be connected always, and it's the same over there. There's a lot of different sport facilities how we can put them.
They can share the cafe, restaurant, those
locker
kind of
rooms.
extra amenities.
Yeah, exactly. How about this stadium over there?
The open air pool in ski jump pits. I mean,
Yeah, this open air.
the stadium. You
Yeah,
mean?
stadium.
Yeah.
What kind of sport are they doing?
In here,
Yeah,
this is track and field on the summertime, track and field,
in the summer.
and then skiing on the winter time.
Okay.
It's basically the start and finish spot of the skiing.
And then also football, of course, in the middle. Yeah.
No.
Maybe city marathon as well. Could be a city marathon.
No, we don't actually have a city marathon. So the marathon gate is over there, but we don't have a competition going on.
But it can be used for. But
Yeah.
Are there limitations for what kind of events you can use it for?
No.
It's a grass field in summer. Yeah.
Oliko se siinä?
Okay, so we've almost arrived at the end of
Takaisin.
the rail tracks end here. Is there anything we can say about the rail tracks here?
The last train has been here in 2017.
Yeah,
so it's not that
Road
often
trip,
here.
Yeah, there used to be a train that you could arrive to the Salpausselkä ski games by train, but they haven't used
But
it
it's
for
just a museo
long
track,
time.
so
yeah, it's a museum
so the
track,
modern
it's
trains
not
cannot come
electrified.
here. It's just for a museo trains. Yeah.
So these used to go to the harbour, and after that
Yeah.
you could take it to the public use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What a shame. It would be great now. At least for the games.
Yeah.
You can
I-
propose something.
You can because there's actually a really functional connection if you follow the rails. Like if you are going back to Helsinki by train, you could
You can
follow
go.
you can follow the rails. It's safe because there's no traffic and you arrive at the station. It
Okay.
goes like this. Yeah. Yeah. It's a flat track. You don't have to because it cuts through the Salpausselkä ridge,
Yeah.
so you avoid the uphill and downhill.
Okay.
But it can be removed completely, right? Or
Yes, currently it's the state, the rail company owns the or ratahallintokeskus or whatever it is. So you can see the land ownership goes at you can see on the DWG map where the rails are located, and the state owns that land, and then city owns everything around it. You don't have to worry about that in your ideas. If you have great ideas for the area, don't worry about the land ownership.
Okay.
no, but
We'll figure
terms
that out later.
in terms of it interlocks with this area
Yes,
a lot.
yes,
like,
yes,
an
yes,
important
yes,
route.
yes,
so-
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having said that, you could also point out that this is a kind of a no man's land area of the site, and but this connection needs to be kept open. So we wouldn't want to see any building mass right here because you want to keep the connection to the harbor.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are close up to the stadium stands.
So, any questions left?
What is the biggest challenge here on this side from the point of view?
What is the biggest challenge? I would say that the biggest challenge is to get there's no challenge to get athletes here. and there is always athletes and people doing sports in the halls or here. But then this kind of people who are mainly involved in physical exercises but are not that much as athletes, that they would like to spend their more, the people like to spend more time in here, not just to come by car, do some whatever sport and then leave. That there will be more people around all the time. There was now maybe 150 people playing volleyball and basketball in the hall, but we didn't see anything else than the cars. So at the summertime, when the weather is better, I would really like to see more people here, spending their time doing some activities, but just staying here. We have restaurants and cafeterias and so on. So
Very well put, Aleksi, and it connects to the sort of urban design, urban planning challenge. How do you make this area so comfortable and so attractive that people want to come here, even just to walk around and have a look and stay? So those two connect together, because as you saw outside, especially today when it's super cold and grey, it's not very attractive. It's an amazing place with lots of amenities, but it's a little bit hidden and it doesn't look as great as it could be.
But it's just next to the city center, so it's
Very close to the city center,
Yes.
yes.
okay, anything else?
Well, feel free to send questions to the website if there's something coming up, and good luck to all.